If there is one thing I have learned in my 12,000 years of existence, it is this: humans are absurd. Colonel J. Jack O'Neill lived at the edge of nowhere, on a planet so forgotten the stars themselves seemed reluctant to look at it. The locals called it Reedreach, a sunburned world of dust plains and iron canyons. Jack called it home. His outpost was a salvage shack, half buried in rusted metal, held together by stubbornness and hope. Every morning he'd wake before dawn, brew coffee strong enough to wake the dead, and go out into the dust to pick through the bones of old wars. I watched him from the sky, invisible, always invisible. He spoke to machines like they were old friends and cursed sandstorms like personal enemies. Every night, when the twin moons rose, he sat alone on his roof and stared into the stars. "You could have been more," I muttered, smoke curling from my unseen jaws. But then again, so could we all. Jack didn't know it, but he lived on the fringes of Dragon Empire territory, a place we had abandoned centuries ago, a place where exiles fled and refugees hid, which is why fate, cruel and magnificent, sent her to him. She crashed at dusk. Jack heard it first, a sonic boom tearing the silence apart. He grabbed his rifle and ran toward the smoke. What he found was not wreckage. It was a woman. She lay in the crater, her armor shattered, her skin marked with faint iridescent scales. Curved horns swept back from her temples. A Dragonkin. Jack froze. "Oh," he said quietly, "that's new." She tried to rise, her golden, slit-pupiled eyes locking onto him. Fear flared there. Not rage, fear, a refugee. Jack lowered his weapon immediately. "Hey," he said gently. "Easy, I'm not gonna hurt you." She laughed weakly. "That," she rasped, "would require effort." He carried her back to his outpost, not realizing he was changing the course of two empires. Her name was Salithra of House Virn. She told him of fire courts and crystal spires, and of the draconic Concord, the ruling caste she fled. "They wanted to marry me," she said one night, wrapped in blankets. "To bind the bloodline, to strengthen a house," Jack frowned. "Against your will?" She looked at him like the question itself was foreign. "There is no will," she said softly. "Only duty." I snarled in agreement. The Empire had forgotten compassion long ago. Jack didn't understand dragon politics. He didn't need to. "That's messed up," he said simply. Salithra stared at him. That was the moment she began to love him. Life became strange. Jack taught her how to fix scrap drones. She accidentally melted a workbench. He taught her how to cook. She burned 3 pans. She taught him dragon script. He complained constantly. I watched them bicker, laugh, and heal each other. "You humans live so small," Salithra said once. Jack shrugged. "Small's peaceful," she smiled. "Peace never lasts," I muttered. "But enjoy it while it does." The Empire came searching, not with fleets. Not yet, with whispers. Salithra stood on the roof one night, wings spread. "They will find me," she said. Jack stood beside her. "Then we deal with it." She looked at him. "You would stand against dragons?" He smirked. "I've stood against worse." I laughed, deep and approving. And in that moment, Salithra chose. Not exile, not empire, not fear. She chose love. 3 Dragonkin arrived at dusk, clad in ceremonial armor. Salithra of Virn, their leader intoned. "By decree of the Concord, you are summoned to return." Jack stepped between them. "No," he said. The Dragonkin stared at him like a talking insect. "You are insignificant," the envoy said calmly. Jack shrugged. "Yeah, I get that a lot." They explained patiently that Selithra's marriage was necessary, that her womb carried lineage value. Jack listened, then said something extraordinary. "She's not property." Silence fell like ash. I laughed so hard I nearly revealed myself. The envoy tilted his head. "You misunderstand. She is not owned. She is needed." Jack met Selithra's eyes. "What do you want?" he asked. Her answer came without hesitation. "I want to stay." That was enough. Jack picked up his rifle and leveled it at a creature that could incinerate him with a thought. "Then she stays." The envoys left, not defeated, but unsettled. After that, they reinforced the outpost side by side. At night, they talked about Earth, the Empire, and choosing your own life. They kissed during a dust storm, hidden inside the Salvage bay while the world screamed outside. I looked away. Some moments deserve privacy, but the Concord would escalate. Assassins would follow, war, so I revealed myself. I descended in fire and starlight, coiling around the outpost like a living mountain. Jack fell backward. Selithra bowed instinctively. "I am Verithrax," I said, "and this human is under my protection." Jack stared up at me. "Of course, there's a bigger dragon," he muttered. I liked him immediately. "I have watched you," I told him. "You are fragile, inadequate, short-lived, fair," he said. "But," I continued, "you chose love over survival. That is rare." The Empire backed off. For now, that night, Jack made a promise. "I don't know how long we'll have," he said. "But whatever comes, we face it together." Selithra rested her forehead against his. "In my people's tongue," she whispered, "that is marriage." I roared with laughter, shaking the dunes. "Well then," I said, "congratulations, human. You've accidentally married into the Dragon Empire." Their wedding was in the Salvage yard. No crowns, no banners. Just a ring Jack welded from a starship conduit and a vow spoken in 2 languages. "I choose you," Jack said. "I choose freedom." "And you," Selithra answered. Living together was educational. Jack learned Dragonkin preferred heat levels that melted furniture. Selithra learned coffee was sacred. It was not epic. It was real. When the Concord sent a hunter, a bloodbound, I descended in a blaze of ancient fire. Selithra fought like a storm. Jack fought like a man protecting his family, and I fought like an extinction event. We let the hunter flee. "Let the Concord know," I said coldly. "This line is protected." Life arrived quietly. "I am with child," Selithra said one morning. Jack dropped the fusion cell he was repairing. It exploded. No one was hurt. I laughed for an hour. Their firstborn, Eric's, arrived months later. Small, warm, glowing with inner fire. Jack cried. 2 more children followed. Kellis, born defiant and loud. Then Risa, quiet and observant. Her eyes glowed blue. "This one listens," I said. "She will be dangerous." "In a good way?" Jack gulped. "In every way." Jack became an Outback Dragon dad, building a play area rated for minor flame events. Salvagers whispered about the colonel with the dragon wife whose kids melted scrap by accident. The Concord fractured. Selithra's public refusal broke old loyalties. Instead of war, other Dragonkin began to flee to Reedreach, finding refuge under my protection. Jack expanded the outpost into a settlement. He never asked for power. That made him terrifying. Their fourth child, Tharian, came during this newfound peace, born laughing. Jack looked at his wife, his 4 children, and the ancient dragon watching over them. "This is it," he said. "This is our life." Selithra leaned into him. Yes, and I would choose it again. The Empire had lost. Not by force, by choice. Time passed. Eryx learned engineering from his father. Callus raced dust storms. Risa studied histories. Tharian laughed at danger. The Dragon Empire bent. They came with treaties, not fleets. Forced unions were abolished. All because one dragon said no, and one human said she stays. Jack never ruled. He taught. He built schools from scrap. He fixed what was broken. Grandchildren came, climbing my scales and pulling my whiskers. "Grandfather," one asked, "did you really burn a star once?" "Yes," I said. "And I would do it again if you don't stop poking my eye." Jack laughed so hard he nearly fell off the porch. He died quietly, old, content, surrounded. Selithra held his hand. I lowered my head. "You did well, human," I said softly. "Better than most." Selithra stayed, ruling nothing and loving everything. Riedreich became more than an outpost. It became home. And I, Verithrax, found myself content to watch dust storms roll across the plains, knowing that somewhere below, a human legacy burned brighter than any star. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more stories.